Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of our podcast series, Introducing New Artists, Conversations with Visual Arts Majors at UCSD. I'm Professor Amy Adler, a faculty member in the Visual Arts Department at UC San Diego. In this series, I'm speaking with studio art honors students about their artistic evolution, their creative processes, and the unique challenges facing emerging artists today. I'm particularly interested in understanding how our students navigate the complexities of developing their artistic voices while preparing to launch their careers in an ever-changing professional, political, and personal landscape. Today, I'm joined by William Ng, a senior in our honors program whose multidisciplinary practice explores masculinity in queer communities and critiques consumer culture through humor and satire. William's diverse skill set spans traditional art-making practices, graphic design, and product design, allowing him to address serious social topics through accessible and often lighthearted approaches. And I'm also joined today by 12 other students from the Studio Art Honors Class of 2025. Hello! We're excited to learn more about William's artistic practice and his time here at UCSD and hear his perspectives on what it means to be an emerging artist in 2025. So let's begin our conversation. Greetings, William. Could you start by introducing yourself to our listeners?
Hi, my name is William Ng. That's U-N-G. And I'm a visual arts studio major, 4th year. So graduating this year, and then a design minor, design and technically marketing minor, and I'm currently 22.
William, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. When did you decide you wanted to become an artist, and what were some key experiences that led you here?
So I think I've always had a love for art. It kind of stemmed from my mom. We would always connect in this way because from rumors with my uncle, he mentioned that she wanted to be a photographer, but due to obviously immigrating and then having to support a family, 3 kids, aunts and uncles and everything like that, she became a jeweler, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think I always felt really connected where I would show her something and she'd say, wow, this is amazing, because maybe she's like vicariously living through me. That was definitely the start of it, and I always just tried to add color to things, put my own spin on things, make things fun or funny, and then I guess that led to being creative in multiple aspects, and then being publicity or being like vice president of some things, into thinking that art was good. And I think I'm currently in the moment where I don't know if I can forever be an artist. But I do always want to hold that closeness, like with my parents, with my family, with myself, by staying within the art field or keeping it as something that makes me happy. Yeah.
That's great. I think it is a very challenging transition moment, and so it's great to hear that you're thinking about that, because I know a lot of other students are thinking about that at the same time. So tell us a bit about your current work. What are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on 2 drawings. It's been a theme that I've been exploring for a while, and like we previously mentioned, it's on masculinity, because ultimately I feel like everyone's being thrown into expectations of looking a certain way, acting a certain way, thinking certain things. And I kept questioning it within myself, if these are things I truly believe or if society is being put onto me. And so with some of my previous works, I try to examine, like, do I need an 8-inch dick, and do I need 6-pack abs, and do I need $100,000 right out of my bank in my bank account immediately after college, and if I need to be a 6-foot white male, and all these sort of things. But anyways, recently I'm currently questioning if the idea of wrestling, and it's close to drag, which is really funny. It's all about the performance. It's all about forcing and showing off how much muscles you have, yelling and screaming at your opponents. There's factions. There's themes. There's a lot of makeup that goes into it, and so yeah, it's just questioning the line of like, does this then become feminine? Does this then become just a show, just for laughs and giggles? I don't know. A lot of those things come to mind.
You know, humor plays a major role in your work. So how did you develop this approach to addressing serious topics like masculinity and consumerism through this more lighthearted lens?
I think I'd first seen an artist or so. Well, maybe this is a very side topic, but they'd had a wall of vaginas. And I cannot remember the artist. And so they talked about it like, why would I do this? Why would I do this? It's to get people to giggle, maybe get people uncomfortable, to then talk about a very uncomfortable thing or like satisfying or unsure, like taboo subjects. And I'd always had this kind of dry humor or sarcasm. I think because there's rumors that it's like a higher intelligence, because you have to see through like the levels of humor that it kind of has, versus like, oh, like a dick and balls or like a fart joke, where it's like very surface level. Oh, it's like a immediate gag or so. Yeah, you want to like see through all these, and I try to have that within my art as well. Like, you want to see through the first one into the second layer, into the third layer. Like, there's a lot of uncomfortable topics that you then should be realizing.
I like that. So I noticed that, well, I'm most familiar with your work in drawing and specifically in pencil. So I was wondering if you could talk about why drawing, and what is it about drawing that makes it the right medium to express your ideas?
I tend to see myself going into a lot of different mediums. I'm also a dancer, which is funny. So I guess there's some performative aspect of that. But specifically for drawing, I think it takes away all of what's going on in my head with color, with worrying about the drying process and like patience as well, that I think I'm able to get enough detail, enough satisfaction from having it be like a quicker process as well. If I think about the drawing as a process, drawing as a noun, drawing as a verb and everything, I think there's so much intention behind each pencil stroke, and all of the history of it being black and white. I don't know, something along those lines, where I find it the most satisfying to depict what I want.
You have a lot of different interests and a lot of different things going on in your life. You talk about being a dancer and you're into design, and so I was wondering, is it difficult to find the time and space that's required to make really the kinds of drawings that you make, and how do you carve out that space when you have so much else going on?
I think I always struggle with this because I'd initially found art to be so satisfying and like making me happy that once it became work or assignments, that I really strayed away from it. I think I steered toward my hobbies once again, my other hobbies, creative outlets of expression through dance, or thinking that like graphic design was my passion, and like I love color theory, I love everything that the fonts that I have to choose, and completely forgot the question.
So did I. My question was about how you find the space to sit down and make a labor-intensive drawing when you have so much else going on, including being a student and everything else. Like, this is a question for everybody really, is how do you find the mental space to make art when you have so much going on all at once?
I think with all of what I'd previously said, I don't. I still find myself needing a quick burst of energy, a quick burst of passion to then start something. Once I start it and I have it just in my room, which is usually the space in which I work, if I look at it, I look at the reminder of I need to finish this. I want to finish this. It's a passion. It's like it reignites that passion. So I try to have reminders. I currently put up like my graduation gown because I need like that reminder that these things are real. These things are coming up, as well as some of my previous works to reignite some of that passion that I feel like I used to have. Yeah.
Do we have a question from our audience, your class of peers here? Anybody have a question for William? It can be a silly question. It doesn't have to be a serious question. Natalia.
From your works that I've seen, you use a lot of different household items. Like you had the nutcrackers and like you use specific things to depict something. How do you choose what it is that you're going to use? How do you choose to do a tomato? How do you choose to use nutcrackers? How do you choose to transform an image that was originally sapphic sex into gay sex? Like what? How do you choose that?
Ooh, I think that's a really good question. I tend to brainstorm. I tend to write everything down that I could ever think of, good and bad ideas, because a current class is telling me that all of creativity is all of what you're thinking. And don't let any good or bad idea not get written down, not get spoken out. That's the point of them. And so whenever I write these down, I try and collect them. A good point to kind of like keep in mind is like you could combine some, you could see where some overlap. And I always try to do that with the works that I feel are strong enough. And so, yeah, I just try to look at those and the intersections of them, realize, oh, they have even like the smallest bit of overlap that I think I could point out or expand on. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you look for subject matter that meets different kinds of expectations, and it has to kind of meet a few of them in order to be worthy of your time, right?
Yeah, I think I would need a lot of, if it looks nice, if it has themes of this, if it has themes of this, if I think it's funny, and that usually, I think that would hit the mark. Yeah.
Your artist statement talks about your perspective being shaped by your own identity as a queer Asian American artist. I was just wondering, can you talk about that and like how has that shaped your perspective and your work?
Ooh, I think about that a lot because in America, I think, or Western culture, you tend to have the idea that you should be very independent. You should be fully self-sufficient pretty soon, maybe by 18. You're a adult, and then 21, what's that called? You're able to drink, and then you're just really thrown into the world so fast. Whereas, specifically within Asian cultures, hopefully within mine, I think you should be relying on your family more. It's more about the society. It's a lot on what people think of you. And I think I've begun to question that a lot. If it's what I think of myself or what everyone thinks of me or what everyone knows of you on the surface. Oh, they see like you've had a 4.0 GPA. If they have a car, a nice whatever, or a really nice house. It's all like very surface level. But at the same time, it's still positive to have a very good support system. So I would say it's just that intersection between being Asian American and then there's like, oh, Asians should be smart, or Asians are shorter, or Asians are more hairless, or this and this. And I think I just had to keep looking at this within myself of like, I like any of these, if any of these align with who I believe I am, which is a good person. I don't know.
Thank you for that answer. So I'll just ask you a couple more questions. And these are broad questions about graduating. So what advice would you give to a freshman or sophomore just starting out in the visual arts department at UCSD? Are there any tips you have for navigating classes, professors, or resources you wish someone had told you earlier? And it can be anything like use the bathroom at Mandeville Auditorium because it's cleaner.
Ooh, I really like when people go out and live their lives. I think try and get yourself into a lot of social situations, hopefully good ones. Take a dance class, take a woodworking shop, a metal shop. Try and expand your creative skills and seeing different fields, because you never know if something else fits what you prefer more. And I wish I'd taken this advice. I really like that I explored a lot of these routes and that I'm slowly curving back to being an artist. But yeah, I definitely want everyone to go to the maker space. It's really fun, especially seeing engineering people suffer. It's really nice.
And then the last question is, with graduation approaching, how do you anticipate transitioning from being a student into your next step, whatever that may be, whether it's a professional artist or, something else? How do you prepare for this shift in terms of plan for the summer, studio space, or finding ways to support yourself and your practice?
I already have a job, so I theoretically have enough room to explore and maybe travel the world, maybe even not travel the world, travel to another city, if anything, or sleep in my car, or pretend, or sleep on someone's couch, or have more sleepovers, or live life. And I think I'm really trying to allow for that space, allow for a lot of growth, allow for intention behind everything I do. I don't know what that means professionally. We'll have to leave that open, because in the grand scheme of things, we're so young. And to anyone listening, you're definitely still young. No matter what age you are, it's your outlook on life.
That's great. That's a really great place to end. Thank you, William. I just want to say that, what impresses me about your work is your distinct approach using humor to invite viewers into deep conversations about complicated social issues. Your ability to navigate between art and design, digital media, and your dance practice, all questioning social norms in some way, it's very important. And I think that whatever you decide to do, all of those things are going to be really valuable. And I'm sure that in 10 years, whatever you're doing will probably be at the intersection of all of those things. That's my guess. So thank you again. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us for this episode of Introducing New Artists, Conversations with Visual Arts Majors at UCSD. I just want to thank the UCSD Visual Arts Department for making this series possible. So until next time, thank you, everybody.